Back in 2005, when Apple decided to move away from IBM's G5 processor, they collaborated with Intel to get the Intel's processor installed in the MacBooks or Apple's laptops in a manner that Intel may be able to cope up with the future requirement. But the history repeats itself. Now, in year 2020, Apple decided to move away from Intel and they decided to come up with their own solutions in respect of like the ARM architecture based CPUs. Actually, उन्होंने जो ARM architecture based के जो लैपटॉप लाने वाले थे उसके बारे में लास्ट ईयर इन्होंने अपने इवेंट के अंदर शो ऑफ कर दिया था. बट एवरीवन हैज देयर क्वेश्चंस लाइक व्हाई दे आर डूइंग दिस और व्हाट विल बी द इम्पैक्ट ऑन द IT industry, blah blah blah. But finally, Apple launched their own laptop on ARM architecture based M1 silicon chip. But getting aside all the questions, they come up with a solution and they launched their own ARM architecture based M1 silicon chip laptops this year in November 2020 on the event of One More Thing. So I mean, everyone was eager to know that how these laptops are performing. But to be very frank, like after watching lots of videos on YouTube, they are beast. I mean, they are performing very well. But the next question arises, why Apple did this? So Apple did this just because Intel is not able to cope up with the requirement Apple needed. I mean, 5 nanometer processor जो कि Intel के पास नहीं है, Apple ने achieve कर लिया है and they need they are requiring the 5 nanometer architectural based processor from Intel, but they were not able to deliver the same to the Apple, and they thought that like the things happen back in 2005 are now going to repeating itself in the current year. So they thought that it's a good time to go ahead and create their own processor on the 5 nanometer technology. So those who don't know about the 5 nanometer technology, I'll make a separate video on that, not created yet, so I'll create a separate video on 5 nanometer technology processors. So back to the topic, these things are happening again and again. So Apple thought that it's a good time to take our own processor into the market, and like by having their own processor, now everything they have in their hand, and the last thing is the processor, so they have their own processor as well. Now they are able to deliver what they wanted to their customers. So these things are happening now, and after, like as I told you, there were certain issues with the Intel as they are not able to cope up with the requirement needed by the Apple. So Apple decided to move away from Intel and they want their own architectural based laptops to be delivered to their premium customers. So they come up with the M1 silicon chip, which is a ARM architectural based, and you can imagine that the first laptop, the base laptop, is without a fan. So there is a fanless laptop in the market now which costs around 90,000, and that is a beast. I mean, that is performing like a charm, mostly for the creators. But people are thinking like, what are the changes they made so that it is a beast for them? So there are certain things which Apple did, like they created their own 5 nanometer architectural based CPU which has a 8 core CPU and an 8 core GPU, which performs like 5 times faster from its predecessor, which is Intel Core i5 processor of the 10th generation. Apart from that, they embed everything, like they embed the high bandwidth low latency into a single CPU, so that like the memory sharing will not happen from other pools, and in a single chip everything will be shared. So the transfer speed or read or writing speed or transferring of data from one memory pool to another memory pool is too fast. So this is the reason M1 silicon chip are so famous in terms of the performance apart from the Intel. Now if we talk about the future of the M1 chip, so future is very bright. Like things what needed by the creators are there in the chip, and they are performing like a charm. Every creator who did video editing in 4K are loving these laptops. The 8K is not done yet, but yeah, 4K is working like a charm, and it generates the exported file of a 4K file of 5 minutes in just 3 minutes. So you can imagine that the Intel i7 processor, which works the same and generates the 5-minute 4K file in just 5 minutes or 5 minutes or more. So you can imagine how fast these processors are. Next, if you talk about the conclusion, so conclusion is that those who are creators, new or beginners, they must go with these MacBook Air or MacBook Pro laptops. These are very fast, super cool, performing like a charm. You don't need to worry about like how things going on. They are similar to what are its predecessor, but they embed the M1 chip apart from the Intel chip, and after putting the M1 chip, there is no fan into the MacBook Air, so battery improvement is also increased to 18 hours. But by doing extreme work, you can get the backup of around 10 to 11 hours, which is great for everyone. So this is it. I hope you guys like this video. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe my channel, hit the bell icon, and don't go without commenting onto the video in the comment section. Follow me on the Instagram, Facebook, Twitter without any delay to get the latest what is about to come. This is your host iTarun signing off for now. See you in the next. Take care. Peace.